Hello, dear Capricorn. How are you? Welcome. I hope you are doing very, very well. Let's see what general energies are available to you right now so you can use them to your advantage and see a situation from a new point of view. This reading is general. Take what resonates with you and don't discard the message. It applies to all those who have their sun, rising, moon, or Venus in the sign of Capricorn. Capricorn, if you need a personal reading with me, you can write to the email shown on the screen, and I will send you all the information you need. All right, let's channel a message for the sign of Capricorn. Capri, you're starting with the Six of Cups. We have the Queen of Swords. We have the Chariot, the Page of Pentacles, the Eight of Cups, the Nine of Cups, the Ace of Cups, the King of Wands, the Devil. At the bottom of the deck, you have the Emperor. All right, Capri. I feel like your reading is highlighting a lot of things, a lot of topics. It's true. Passato. On one hand, it shows the closing of a cycle of issues from the past. I also see the recovery of personal power, and that's important. But I also see that there might be some small tension, right, when it comes to emotions between what one desires. And making sure that no relationship or emotional situation turns into attachment or dependence, right? But now we're going to analyze all of this, okay? Let's look at the key to your reading, the Emperor at the bottom of the deck. And this energy, of course, represents structure, authority, discipline, stability, right? This energy is very much in tune with your nature, right? Because I feel like what Capri is saying is that it's time for you to take back control of your life, right? And maybe stop just reacting so that you can start what? Leading. So it could be that after an intense emotional phase, I feel like you're starting, to take the reins, right, of your destiny. Okay? I mean, it's not about acting out of fear or emotion, but strategically, yes. Let's go back to the beginning of your reading. There's an important movement here, especially above all, with respect to the past. Because you start with the energy of the past. There's something there about memories, about nostalgia. It could also be people from the past or connections that left a strong mark on you. It's like maybe a lot of Capricorns right now are going over old stories. I mean, not because they want to go back to that past, because there's something that must be understood, which I feel still has a lot of influence on your present. But here you have an energy that really speaks to your clarity, right? And it's that energy that allows you to cut through illusions, right? To also cut through self-deception, right? To tell the truth, right? It represents your mental maturity here. And this line ends with an energy of progress, of movement, of victory, of direction, and above all, of decisiveness. So you have here a pretty clear sequence of energies, right? Because here you have the past, understanding, and progress. So it seems that Cap is closing a chapter where it's true that there are certain memories, or they could be connections, partners, ex-partners, right? That still have emotional weight. But here you're being helped to see reality, and you're also being allowed to move forward. So here there's no Capricorn energy that gets stuck in the past. Instead, there's an energy of overcoming. If we go to the core of your reading, there are many opportunities here Because there's a new proposal here. This could be a new project, a real opportunity, or a learning experience. I mean, it's an energy for you right now from a solid beginning. But here there's an emotional decision, right? And this says a lot, Capri, that maybe you have to walk away from something that no longer fulfills you. I mean, maybe because this has already served its purpose and it's better to leave it behind. Here your reward appears because here a wish has been fulfilled, right? That longing that came true, it's satisfaction, it's personal achievement. So to me, Capri, it seems that in order to receive something better, first you must let go of what no longer fits you. It's already too small. So it could be that many of you are entering a new stage where you have to leave behind certain situations here. It's going to be the key so that you can enter a stage of greater emotional satisfaction. If we go to the end of your reading, there's a lot of power in this ending. Huh. And you are starting here with an energy of new feelings, of emotional renewal, of emotional openness. This could indicate a new bond or a new stage in an existing relationship. Inspiration, right? It's an energy of beginnings, of emotional beginnings. And here we have a strong figure, right? And this, of course, could be representing, it could be a person with a fire sign, Sun or rising, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Someone who is very connected to you. It is. Or it could also be your own energy, right? In terms of leadership, there's passion, magnetism, and initiative here. This is someone who knows what they want, whether this is someone else or it's you yourselves. But here comes the warning. Capricorn, because there's a strong desire here. It could be a magnetic attraction, but it could also be obsession, attachment, compulsion, or even emotional dependence. Right? So what is this row telling you, more or less, right? I feel like Capri is focusing on a very emotionally intense stage. Very intense. It's like you're entering a stage of much more passion, a stage where there's more attraction, there's more chemistry, there's more magnetism. Because there's so much intensity, there can also be excess. There's also a risk of losing some objectivity. It's also about finding where the limit is. Mainly because of this last letter. Overall, Capri, I feel, because of the cards that came up for you, you're at a stage where you need to make mature decisions and set healthy boundaries because you're thinking clearly. It's like you have the ability to handle things, pretty much any situation, but only as long as you act with reason. I feel like there's something new or something much better that's about to come into your life. But after this resignation, this is part of your evolution. But maybe the most delicate point is this ending, right? The one we've talked about, because it's true that there's an emotional opening or a new stage with your current relationship. But there's also a desire. There's a very intense energy of desire, very magnetic, and maybe here's the big issue, right? The important thing is that you know how to differentiate between love and emotional attachment. That's one of the challenges that maybe the end of your reading is telling you about. So if we're seeing, Capri, that you're leaving a phase of your past behind and entering a much more active stage, freeing yourself from the past, letting go of what no longer satisfies you, embracing a new emotional experience, this is going to be intense. But as long as you keep your control, your own boundaries, okay, so there's growth here. I feel, Capri, that by closing these chapters from the past, as we said, it's going to allow you to move forward to a new stage of fulfillment, not only on an emotional level, but also on a personal level. But it's very important that you maintain clarity, that you also maintain self-control. Because what starts with a lot of passion shouldn't end up becoming a burden. Okay, that's how I feel. So notice that your reading ends precisely with the devil. And the devil represents a lot of what controls us. Mm. And in your underlying card with the emperor, of course, he specifically represents what we learn to control. And I feel that's where it is. That's the big difference, right? And surely this is the big lesson for this moment, for all Capricorns. Wow. Let's go to the Oracle, Cap. Let's see what your advice or your message will be. For this moment. Cap, you have the dragonfly. The dragonfly brings you change. Change. It tells you, I embrace my transformation. I let go of the past with courage. The magic of nature is within me. I am brilliant and I am blessed. Dear Capricorn, this is what we have seen for all of you in terms of the overall energy available to you. Have a beautiful day, everyone, and I'll see you here next time.